Hello everyone and welcome to our exclusive Matchday programme ahead of our Premier League clash with Bournemouth at Goodison Park on Sunday. The last game of what's been a scarcely believable season, almost 12 months since our first game against Crystal Palace, but the end is in sight. As you can see, I'm here at USM Finch Farm where this week Carlo Ancelotti and his staff have been preparing the players ahead of that final game of the season. And we'll hear from Carlo Ancelotti in this week's programme. We'll also hear from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Bernard and Kevin Kilbane. We'll take you behind the scenes of Bramall Lane where we recorded an excellent 1-0 win on Monday night. We'll have our Name the Player quiz and we'll have some music from a local band called Rats. As always though, first off, here's the boss.
Hi Carlo, how are you doing? First up, can we have the team news? Who's fit, who's not?
Team news are that not available, the same Mina, Delph and Mason Holgate.
How much is this game going to be about the way you play and how much is it going to be dictated to by what we know Bournemouth have to do and therefore how they have to approach the game?
It's the last game of the season. I think it will be important to try to repeat the same game that we played against Sheffield. We showed a good image, we showed good attitude. It's the last game of the season. We did well at home and we want to finish well this season at home.
Now Bournemouth of course haven't been around in the Premier League for too long. In fact there's only ever been 9 Premier League meetings between the Toffees and the Cherries, but along the way in those 9 games there have been some cracking goals and here is a selection of the best. Right now we're taking you behind the scenes at Bramall Lane, the home of Sheffield United Football Club, where on Monday night Everton recorded an excellent 1-0 victory courtesy of a superb header by Richarlison. As you know, attendance at the games is strictly limited, but the EvertonFC.com cameras were granted exclusive access. Some excellent footage there from Bramall Lane. And if you enjoy looking behind the scenes when Everton travel to the various Premier League grounds, visit On The Road, our feature on the official Everton YouTube channel. Now, of course, the 1-0 win at Sheffield United was just what the doctor ordered. After the game, we caught up with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who told us how sweet it was to put one over on his former club.
Was that a blueprint of how to play tonight, how we should play on the road?
Yeah, I think we showed a bare minimum of what should be expected today, and that's working hard, determination and character within the squad. You know, we've proved before the break that we had that within us, and then it's kind of not come to the pitch as we've rejoined the season. So it was frustrating, but like I say, they're a tough team, a good team, pushing for certain things. So it was important that we got the points today.
As you say, that they were pushing for Europe until the end of this game. So does that show that there is fight in this squad? The fact that you can come in, not a lot on the line in that respect, but match a team that it meant a lot for them.
Absolutely, yeah. It's I would say the last couple of performances haven't been acceptable from all of us. So we had something to prove today, regardless of what they were fighting for and what we're fighting for. And it was us versus them. And we knew that we had to win our individual battles, and the physical battle, which we did, we matched them. And then, we got the goal, almost had a couple more, held out to the end and got the 3 points.
You know, not very close to getting that goal, weren't you?
I was, yeah, and it's been frustrating, but, I don't get too down about it. It's cliche, but the most important thing is the 3 points, but I'm a centre forward and I'm selfish and I want to score, so I think I wanted to kick on and continue my scoring form, which hasn't quite happened, but I go into every game believing I'm going to score, and I think that's the way it has to be, and close to today, so there's no reason why next game won't be the day that I score.
And that's our 5th away win of the season, but crucially 4th under Carlo, so does that show there is progress on the road being made?
Absolutely. I think if you look in the short term, it's been disappointing, but since the manager's come in, we've been unbeaten at home. We've got a good home record, we're winning more away games than we were winning before, and the all-round turnaround has been good. So I think it's a work in progress, and I think the way we've been performing, although performances have fluctuated, I think we've shown good signs that we need to take on into next season and really believe in ourselves that we can go and achieve what we want to achieve.
Right, it's time now for a little bit of fun. It's time for our Name the Player quiz. The rules are beautifully simple. We're about to show you 6 action shots from Everton against Bournemouth fixtures in days gone by. All you have to do is name the players in the photograph. There'll be one toffee, there'll be one cherry. We'll show you the photograph, give you a few seconds, then we'll show you the answers. Have a go. As always, well done to each of you that got 6 out of 6. Right, next up we'll hear from the best little Brazilian that we know. Bernard Inicio Caldeira Duarte, thankfully, is better known as Bernard. Now, Bernard is a quite well decorated footballer. And when we say well decorated, we don't just mean leagues, cups and caps. Right, next up we'll hear from Kevin Kilbane. The former Everton and Republic of Ireland midfielder knows full well that Sunday's game is arguably the biggest game in the history of Bournemouth Football Club. But Kevin Kilbane also knows Evertonians. He knows Everton Football Club, and he knows that Everton will want to go into the summer on the back of a win.
Certainly from any neutrals looking into the game, it'll be all looking to see if Bournemouth can get a win. If I could maybe look at it from both sets of players' perspective. In the position of Bournemouth, you're looking at a team like Everton that are safe, and you think, well, look, this is maybe a team that you'd want to play against because there's nothing riding for them on the game. I think the way that Everton have been going, it has been about progression this season. There's been a couple of little bumps along the way, but it's about looking towards next season. And this is the ideal game, given how Bournemouth have been playing and given the way that they've been shipping goals, that this is the ideal game, I'd feel, for Everton, seriously, to get a result this weekend. And that's how I'd view it, really.
What do you think Bournemouth's mindset will be, Kevin? Will it be just keep it tight, don't concede early, and let's see where it leads us, or do you think they'll just go for it from the off?
Yeah, I think Bournemouth. Well, Bournemouth, the mentality would be certainly don't concede, stay in the game as long as possible. But they've struggled to stop sides scoring against them. That's been the big issue for them, hasn't it? So if Bournemouth can contain, certainly for the first half, they have got enough about them goal scoring wise. They do create chances. That's what Eddie Howe's team have done over the years. And that's where you'd maybe look at Everton when you think, Bournemouth, and you think, well, if you stay in the game long enough, you're always going to get chances. But the massive worry for any Bournemouth fan, wherever they travel to, is stopping side scoring against them. And that is where I'd feel that Everton can seriously exploit that this weekend. And I think that Everton can seriously go and hurt them. And as I said, I'd feel as though with Everton, they can play a little bit looser. They can play with a bit more freedom. So I'd be hopeful of a win. That's what I'd be thinking this weekend for Everton. I think it is a game that they can seriously hurt Bournemouth with no pressure on them. And that's the way that they have to view this game, I'd feel.
Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin will go into the game neck and neck, 15 goals each in all competitions. 30 goals between them is not a bad return, is it?
Well, I think you're looking at every side now across Europe, more sides across Europe, and certainly in the Premier League, Darren, when you see inside, it's not about one goal scorer now. Look at all the top sides in the Premier League now. You've very rarely, Jamie Vardy at Leicester aside, you've very rarely seen one player that's dominating the goal scoring starts. Maybe Aubameyang at Arsenal, I suppose, but most of the other sides now, you've got to spread the goals around because of how teams are playing. You're not necessarily using one outright number 9 that's going to go and batter sides and get the goals. It's about spreading goals around the side, and you'd probably want to be Richarlison getting 15-20, you'd want Dominic Calvert-Lewin getting 15-20, and you'd maybe want someone else chipping in with double figures or getting in and around that mark as well. And that's where Everton, maybe I'd feel, have got to be looking to in the next year or two to be getting the goals spread around the team more.
Everton will either finish 11th or 12th in the Premier League this season, which is not where we would have wanted to have finished. But there's very much a feeling that with Carlo Ancelotti at the helm, we are in safe hands.
Absolutely. We wouldn't necessarily have looked at Carlo Ancelotti as a viable manager a year ago, 2 or 3 years ago, would we? Now we've got a top-class manager, the making of a good side with certainly additions that have to come into the team and into the squad. And that is where I think every one of us are hopeful that we can have a side going forward that's going to be challenging at the top end of the table, not necessarily just mid-table where they've been this year.
And that's just about it from the very last Matchday programme of the season, and what a season it's been. But we've all kept together, we've kept obeying the rules, we've kept looking after each other, and we've kept following the Blues. We'll have full biased commentary on evertonfc.com from your kick-off time of 4 o'clock on Sunday, Everton against Bournemouth. Thank you very much indeed for watching. To play us out, here's a terrific local band called Rats. Do enjoy what's left of your summer.
Hi, my name's Joel from the band Rats, and we're going to be doing a very special version of our single Figure It Out for Everton FC, the greatest football team on earth. Up the toffees. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Big love.
since lately. I never did, it never even crossed my mind. But maybe sometimes, 'cause when you whisper words the back of my ear, when you tell me all